Let's talk for a second about looking after yourself as the primary building block or the first piece of momentum in the flywheel of your leadership and management. Because I honestly, genuinely believe that it is absolutely foundational to your ability to be a great manager and leader. Here's why. It's because of all of those things that sound like platitudes that you might see on social media that say things like, you can't pour from an empty cup. Okay, so it sounds like cliche, but it's totally true, right? What hope have you got of leading your team well if you are not able to look after yourself? Not only because if you're not looking after yourself, you're not modeling to your team how they should or could look after themselves, which is not great because they are very likely to follow your example. That's the point about being a leader, is that you are leading people, and setting a powerful example is a really critical part of that. The other thing to say here is that when you stop looking after yourself, your ability to make good decisions, to communicate well, to have a big open view, and to keep all of the pieces of the puzzle in mind really quickly diminishes. You start to focus too narrowly. You start to get in this cycle of doing, and instead of staying in management where you're up above things, looking down, seeing what are the things that need to be improved, or where can you be providing support, instead of having that big picture view and checking how it all fits together, you're in the weeds. Your focus is really down. It's not at all where it needs to be. And so that's why looking after yourself is so foundational, because in the moment when stress takes over and your body and your nervous system gets flooded with your stress response and you're in fight or flight or freeze or fawn, and I can do another video another time about what all of those look like, but when you're in those response modes, your self-doubt has taken over and you are doing all sorts of things that are not good for leadership and management. How can you possibly be doing a good job in those moments? I don't think you can. So in the moment, what we need to do is look after you. And so that will be things like doing a physiological breath. So that looks like this. So you breathe in all the way and then a snatch at the top with extra breath and then all the way out. So it goes like this. Just 3 rounds of that can be so soothing to the nervous system, get you more grounded and certain. Or it might be something, if you've got a little bit longer time available, you might take 15 minutes to do a non-sleep deep rest protocol, and I can link in the description to that. And it's a way of just resetting your system so that you can come back with focus and with more clarity and sort of big picture view, rather than that really narrowed shut down view that can happen. And then in the sort of outside of the immediate moment of stress, there's the bigger life conditions. So are you looking after the big 3? Are you sleeping? Are you eating well? Are you moving yourself? Are you staying connected? There we go. It's 4, it's not 3. But are you doing those things sufficiently well to look after yourself? Like properly look after yourself, not just, well, I ate some pot noodle. I haven't eaten a pot noodle for years. Don't know where that came from, but you hear me, right? It's not just, am I grabbing a pizza on the way home? It's, am I actually filling myself up with good quality food that will fuel me? Am I having great conversations with people that I care about? Am I laughing that great raucous belly laugh that is such a good tension reliever? Am I getting a good night's sleep? And this is not just for your leadership in work. This is also your leadership in life and in your family And I think for a lot of people who are the kind of age that might think of themselves as senior managers and leaders, or if you're beginning to do watch these videos as part of your journey into a management and leadership role, you're probably approaching the kind of age where you might have kids at home. You might have aging parents who need extra care. You might have responsibilities outside of the home and outside of work. So maybe you're a governor or a non-executive board member, or, you know, all sorts of things like that. So extra responsibilities that you need to fit in. You can't possibly do any of those things well if you're not first looking after yourself. So there you go. There's my rant for the day. Really encourage you to look after yourself. For those of you who are going, yeah, okay, Fiona, that's all nice, but actually, how do I do that? How do I prioritize it? Here are a couple of things to think about. Number one, what if you reframe the idea of looking after yourself as a courageous act of leadership? How does that help you to think differently about prioritizing it when things are busy and it feels like the easiest thing to knock off your to-do list? Like, well, I'd park that and do it later. If that's not helping, if that's the least helpful choice you could make, what does that mean about where it comes on your priority list? And then, so that's number one, reframe that belief about whether self-care and looking after yourself is a priority or not. Number two is to get a menu, like make a menu for yourself of really fast and easy ways to soothe your nervous system and get you back into that healthy, grounded adult self. So I already mentioned a couple. So the physiological breath, non-sleep deep rest protocols. I've got a whole email sequence of 10 different ideas I will link down below to help you get access to that sequence. So there are all sorts of things. Make a menu for yourself. And then when you feel that kind of cyclonic panic or complete overwhelm, go to your menu and pick one and do it. Right there and then, just do it. And then the other thing is have a bit of an life audit around the other factors, because I know for some of you it's not that simple around things like food. If you live in a household where shopping and cooking is either shared, or if it's like another person's responsibility in the household to do the shopping and the cooking, you might need to have a conversation with them about what they're buying and what they're cooking. Or if you are the one responsible for shopping and cooking, then you might have to warn them that you might be making some changes there. And again, kind of make a menu for yourself. Like, just list out, like, here are 10 dishes that I can make that are fast and easy to make and that are healthy and nutritious, and work your way through those on rotation. It doesn't need to be complicated. And again, sleep. Really pay attention to your sleep hygiene factors. So we all know, and I know that I slip into this when I'm not paying attention, but those sleep hygiene factors, like not looking at your phone late at night, keeping your phone in another room, or I close mine in the wardrobe actually. Things like having the lights down low in the evening and not full glare, things like that. And the surprising one, which is getting daylight into your eyeballs within 30 minutes of waking. 5 minutes of daylight in the eyes within 30 minutes of waking can set up your circadian rhythm better so that you sleep better the following night. So who knew? So I often will, when I get up in the morning, pour myself a glass of water, open the front door because it's the direction that gets the most daylight. Open the front door, stand on the front doorstep, and do a little mobilizing. So just like neck rolls and shoulder rolls and things like that, just to get my body moving. Drink my glass of water, and then go back inside and start my day. And I know that that has a positive impact on my sleep in the evening, and it kicks off my focus for the day. So there you go. All sorts of tips and tricks for you packed into this one video. If you liked it, save it and come back to it in future. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.